Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, why? And do you think there's any particular thing that triggers it?
Well, yes. Really mainly work stress. But I did have a period where, following bereavement of my husband, and then my company was bought out by American Express, and all the pressures grew, and I had 2 weeks where I really didn't want to get out of bed. So, yeah, I have had personal experience.
Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now more than back when you were younger?
I think there's far more pressures on people with social media, definitely. I think it's opened up lots of areas where people can be targeted, stress can be added, and therefore, ends up with stress and mental health problems, yes.
And would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
It has a good factor in as much as there's more awareness of it. But as I said, the bad factor for me is that it's open to abuse against people, and that can cause quite serious mental health. So really, it's good and bad. And I don't really, I think possibly at this moment in time, the bad outweighs the good, in my opinion.
Thank you. Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there is anything in particular that triggers it?
Yeah, I have had personal experience of anxiety. I used to get quite a lot of anxiety at school. I think a lot of people get anxiety at school. I think it's because of, or I think anxiety gets better as you get older because you have more experience in dealing with it. And I guess school is probably quite a demanding environment. It's probably the first demanding environment you put into it, and I think that's probably why I suffered with a bit of anxiety at school.
Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now than back when you were young?
Yes, I think you were really put under pressure when you were with other people. When I was younger, it was, if you were in school or somewhere else, then you were under pressure then. But now I think youngsters are put under pressure by social media because there's their posts about them or other people talking about them are easier to come across and find. Whereas if somebody was talking about you when I was young, then the chances are you wouldn't find out about it unless one party told you. So I think, yeah, social media does affect young people in regards to anxiety and pressure.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
I think social media has a bad impact on anxiety. I think it's probably one of the major contributing factors to anxiety of young people these days. I think, obviously there's good parts to social media, but I think the bad parts of social media outweigh the good parts massively.
Okay. Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety? And if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggers it?
For me, I get quite nervous at certain things. Like I started a new job a while ago, and it was just like really stressing me out. I was just trying to keep up with everybody else and be the best I could, but I was putting too much pressure on myself. In the meantime, I've now started another job, but this is more in my comfort zone, so I went into it with a much more chilled out outlook, and it's working for me.
Okay. Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of being more prevalent now than back when you were younger?
I think when I was younger, people didn't talk about it. I think now that social media is, people don't realise actually that what people are putting out there isn't actually what's happening to them. It's like when you see the yoga poses, there's actually somebody holding those feet. You know, not everybody's got a great plate of food that you take a photograph of. So don't look at it and think everybody's life's better because they're just showing you what they want to show you. They're not showing you what's true.
And would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
I think that it's good in the respect that people are out there and they're being honest about it. But I also think that there are some people out there that are just possibly jumping on a bandwagon. And I think that you have to realise that, like I said before, it's not about, everybody's life isn't that great all the time, and you've got to stop. People have got to stop comparing themselves to everybody else and just be the best you can be of yourself.